Welcome to Fairway Conversations, the podcast where we dive into the world of golf, exploring the stories, strategies, and experiences that make this sport truly remarkable. I'm your host, Gabe the Cali Lobo, a passionate golfer and enthusiast. In each episode of Fairway Conversations, we'll feature a guest from the golfing community. Through interviews, we'll uncover the secrets behind each golfer's success, explore the challenges they faced, and gain valuable insights into the game we love. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or someone who simply enjoys the beauty of golf, this podcast is for you. Before we get going, I want to let you know today's episode is brought to you by my friends over at Soda Jerk Shot. Visit sodajerk.com to find out where you can get a bottle. And Soda Jerk reminds you, be a jerk responsibly because Soda Jerk is 70 proof. Pour, shoot, repeat. On today's episode, the first episode of the podcast, we have the privilege of sitting down with my guest. He's my kiddo. So welcome to the show, Gabriel. How's it going?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here. This is fun.
We're honored to have you. Well, I shouldn't say we. I'm honored to have you. I'm so used to hosting, like a multi-host podcast. So a couple of the other ones that I'm involved with, 90 Minutes on Film. There's two other guys. The Dogs Fiction and Brown, which is a podcast on Quentin Tarantino. You know, it's Chris and I. So this is my first solo one, and I'm really, really excited because it's truly about something that I'm passionate about. So it's gonna be fun.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So Gabriel, just getting going on this thing. Why don't you share a little bit with the audience about your journey into golf?
Well, I think the first time I ever, because I think about it this way. We used to go over to Bama and Pop's house when we were, back in the day, and it would be like Championship Sunday or a major Sunday, and we'd get there in the morning, we'd eat breakfast, and we'd hang out for a little bit. We'd watch people drive by and play golf while we were hanging out, and then next thing you know, Pop's throwing ribs on the grill, and we're watching people play golf on TV. Somehow Tiger's in the mix, or it's Phil, or it's someone. Yeah. And then next thing you know, it's the evening time. Someone's crowned a champion, and then we're out there looking for balls. Me and my cousins.
Sure.
Out there on the course, and sometimes I take a club with me and try to play the hole. So really, it's just kind of been outside looking in, but I really didn't play for the first time until we were out there. I think with my Bama. So
yeah. Okay. All right. And what was that like? I mean, going out there, you grew up as a baseball player and played baseball all the way through college. And so how was it trying to adjust, as a younger kid, as a baseball swing into a golf swing? Was it easy? Was it difficult?
I wouldn't say, I think I was too young for it to really matter.
Sure.
But everyone always told me it's like you can't play golf and play baseball. It messes up your swing, which I now know is not real. It's not true.
Yeah, the guys.
And I really wish I would have I really wish I would have played golf, but no, the athleticism was there. I just didn't have any, true fundamentals, grip or anything like that, or anything to use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you didn't have the basics that were set up at the time.
So it's like whenever I hit like a shot right down the fairway, that's like I just hit the lottery when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, that feels good. It didn't happen very often.
Yeah, for sure. So what are you were kind of talking about, going out and golfing with your Bama, which is your grandmother and my mom. But what were some of the other memorable moments that you've had in golf so far?
Well, I'll start with that one just because, they lived on a golf course and I'd hang out with them in the summers. And when her and Pop were members, she would play probably a couple times a week and I would beg her to go.
Sure.
I'd use, I don't know if it was your clubs or somebody's clubs, but I just remember us going out there. It was like no one out there on a Tuesday afternoon and I'm like 13 years old, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun just because I don't know what it was. I didn't really know what golf really was at that point. But I just knew it was a lot of fun to get dressed, to put a cool hat on, put my shades on, and just go out there and play golf. But those are some of my first memorable moments with it when I was a
Okay.
teenager.
Now as an adult, and, out in the working world and all of those types of things, what about golf now? How's that affect you and what it is that you're doing now?
It's one of those things where I try to get it go do it as much as I can, within
Sure.
reason. At the end of like right now, just this last week, for example, it was over 105 degrees all week.
Yeah.
Um, it was hot, so we didn't get out and play at all. But usually, I try it out in the summer. I try to get out there usually after 7 o'clock when everything's cooled down. The lights at the range turn on, or we'll go chip and putt a little bit before the lights come on. So usually try to get out there about 2 times a week
Oh
and
wow.
do that sort
Okay.
of stuff.
All right. And then you're out there 2 times a week just banging out balls.
Yeah, just practicing because on the
Yeah.
weekends we have a membership up at Lauren's family's lake house.
Okay.
And so we'll play anywhere. It's usually at least 36 holes a weekend,
Oh wow.
but
Okay. Okay.
typically it's about 54 we'll play.
Okay.
So
Which course is that?
it's called the Coves at Bird Island.
Oh, okay. All
So,
right. And you like playing there?
dude, I love it. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
The greens, they're some of them are very, very small, so you
Sure.
can't really miss because if you miss, you're in some really thick grass or you got a really tough lie uphill in thick grass. Or if it's thinner grass, you're caught underneath a tree, so you really, the fairways aren't that thin, but it's all around very, very challenging.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then you like playing that country club style, or is there some other golf courses there? You live in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, just
Mhm.
outside in Kiefer. Is there any other courses nearby that you really like to play at?
I'll put it this way. I do. I'll say this. Unless the course is just really bad,
Hmm.
I think any golf is fun golf.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So if it's in terrible condition, I'm hitting off dirt everywhere. That's not fun.
Yeah.
But I think the issue that I have and why I love the country club layout is that I don't have to wait on people as much. People don't have to wait
Yeah.
on me as much. It's a lot easier just to drive through, and because it's a country club, you can just come back around and play
Yeah.
it late, play that hole later if you really have to.
Yeah.
Um, but like some of my favorites in this area are Blackjack Ridge, which is just about 20-25 minutes down the road,
Okay.
has really cool elevation changes. Um, it's really a lot of fun. I like the layout there. Not overly difficult, but
Hmm.
just really fun. Another one in the area is called Page Belcher. There's two different courses. There's an old course, and then there's a Stone Creek. Stone Creek's really cool. They have some really cool water setups, and um, it's pretty challenging. I played that earlier in the spring, and that's a lot of fun too. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to be out there. I got to pull the trigger on some plane tickets, but I want to come out in October. And I was thinking about coming out on like a Thursday night and then
hmm
seeing if we could play 36 on Friday and 18 on Saturday, or 18 or 36 on Saturday. And then I'd probably have to head on back on Sunday, but kind of come out and that way we can try to get 54 holes in. That'd be great.
yeah, I was actually thinking about that because I was telling Lauren about that. I think what would be fun is if you came out because there's this up at the lake. There's this place called Shangri-La. It's on Monkey Island is what they call it.
Okay.
It's a really, really nice course. And I was thinking we could probably play there. There's also a new par three that somebody just put in up there, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's a legit par three. Like there's some holes, it's like 240 yards plus on a par
Okay.
three.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's legit. It's very, very nice. I drove by the other day. So we'll play there. Play at those two places. Obviously, play at the country club that I'm playing at the that'll be cool. That way you can see where I'm playing all my golf right now, and then
Sure. Sure.
go from there.
Yeah. What's kind of in the bag right now? I know you and I were talking a couple of weeks ago. Um, I kind of helped you find a new driver, but you mentioned a couple other clubs. What are you kind of playing right now in the bag?
So I have a Ping 425 Max.
Okay.
So a little bit of an older model.
Hmm.
I think it's last year's model or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just got that a month and a half ago, 2 months
Sure.
ago.
Hmm.
Um, and I just recently put a heavier shaft on it because I just even the 55 gram was just too whippy for me, it felt like.
Oh, you're a
So I
big
got
boy, huh?
a, yeah,
You got them
exactly. I
big
go to
boy
the gym.
muscles.
Yeah. And so I got a little bit heavier of a shaft, and then the guy that I was talking to, we were because I had gotten an analysis or something like that a while back. He was saying that
Yeah,
I probably need something that promotes lower ball flight, so the shaft's a little bit different in how it's configured, so it promotes that low spin
sure.
as well, help me have more control of it. And I've been doing a lot better with that.
Oh,
So,
cool, cool.
um, and then I got a from there. The next one is a 3 hybrid. It's also I got it off Facebook Marketplace for like
Hmm.
$120. It's a
Yeah.
Ping 425 as well.
Okay.
I wasn't even trying to do that. It's just how it worked out.
Yeah.
So that 3 hybrid, I don't use it a ton because I'm still trying to figure it out. It'll be the club I work on probably this off season more.
Yeah.
And then the next ones, so my irons, 4 iron all the way through pitching wedge are PXGs.
Yeah.
And when I first got the clubs, I couldn't hit my 4 iron worth a lick, man.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. So I was like, all right, that's probably the same deal. It's going to happen with this 3 hybrid. I'm going to have to work on it. But now the 4 iron is my best club, believe it
Oh,
or
there you
not.
go.
Um,
That's
I think,
that's kind of a bold statement saying that the 4 iron is your best club.
well, it's weird because and we'll probably get into everything, but like I hit my long irons better than I do like 6 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really good about the distance. I
Yeah.
have really good control of it. It doesn't I guess the best way to put it is my inconsistency with those 3 clubs
Yeah.
are much less than the others all
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just
It's a probably a mental thing. It's a confidence thing,
yeah,
you
yeah. I
know?
think it's just because like it's the longer club too. I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. But
Sure, sure. What
um
about
but
wedges? What are you doing with the wedges right now?
they're also PXGs.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
I have you got me a 50 degree. I think it was for Christmas or something like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, and then I have a 54 and a 58.
Okay.
So
All
they're
right.
all PXGs. So
Okay. And what about the putter?
it's an Odyssey.
Okay.
So
All right.
I don't
You,
know the exact model,
I,
but
I think it's that X out, right? I got you that X out.
yes,
You
that's
still
it.
using that thing?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, good, good.
It,
Some mallet head X out putter. It's very similar to the same putter that I use. You know, so it's a great putter. I mean, I'm loving it.
hmm
But um,
Yeah.
what do you do right now? I mean, I know you're playing a lot of golf and stuff. So what do you do to mentally prepare yourself for the round that's coming up?
I don't really have a big mental preparation deal.
Okay,
And the only reason I say that is because and I probably need to. I probably need to, but
sure.
when we're going out there, it's usually a group of us, and you don't want to be too serious because you also still want to have fun.
Yeah,
You don't want to rub off if you're having a bad round on other people
yeah,
because I think that's lame if you do that. So you try to control you have your holes, but I usually just hang out and try to get loose a little bit. And I'm just like, all right,
sure,
see if I can
sure.
just hit a fairway because at the course we play at up at the lake, the number one handicap hole is the first hole,
Yeah.
and the number two handicap hole is the last hole.
Okay.
So the first hole you cannot, yeah, the first hole you can't miss left, you can't miss right, or else it's a hard second shot.
Yeah,
So it's like right from the get go, it's like, hey, you better hit this straight. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah.
I try to just be loose. Yeah.
They put it on you right at the beginning, and then when you're tired and you've been in the sun all day, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna screw with you here at the end."
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
What about technology? I know you and I haven't really talked about that. We talk like at least once a week, and most of the time, we're just of course catching up and seeing how everything is going. But we do talk a lot of golf in the car while you're traveling with work, and I'm commuting for work. So, um, technology. Are you using like a rangefinder right now? Are you using an app? Do you have a watch? What are you using technology wise?
So I use 18 birdies,
Okay.
which I think you're probably familiar with.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I have it on my watch. So like, I usually just keep track of my rounds like that. But I've been finding that I don't really love to do that. I
Okay.
would rather just keep track on the scorecard. So I'll probably wait till probably next spring to get myself a rangefinder.
Yeah.
Have you know the brand Blue Tees?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have a really cool rangefinder. Their recent model, Lauren's brother got it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So I'm just going to get one of those probably next spring.
Okay.
Because I just want to be able to shoot it, and then write everything down on my card, then fill it in for my handicap later.
Yeah.
Um, so that way, but that's kind of what I do right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been using the Garmin watch now for a while.
Oh yeah.
So uh, Sonia, your stepmom, she got that for me for our anniversary, and
Hmm.
it's been very cool because I was using like the apps on the phone, and I use Golf Logics a lot, and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
I still use Golf Logics, but it's usually for round prep, and so that's kind of on the mental side of things. Like I go through and I do like a round prep, and I use the Golf Logics, and I like it because I can fly through, hit shots, put it where I want it to go, and then I can see the animation of the ball flight, like kind of going to that area, and then kind of lets me know what the second or third
That's
shot's
cool.
going to look like. So I do use that for like some of my round prep and everything else, but I've kind of gotten away from the apps myself a little bit, and I really trust that
Hmm.
Garmin. And man, I've been loving it, and it keeps score. And I love writing, like you said, I love writing down the score and keeping the score and stuff like that on the card, and and everything else. But using that Garmin, it works out pretty well.
Yeah, that's cool. And I've been wanting to maybe move to I don't know. I've talked about maybe getting rid of my Apple Watch and getting something like a Whoop strap or something like that.
Yeah,
Just because I'm always looking like, what's that text? What's that text? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, yeah.
but
What about breakthrough moments? Have you had any kind of breakthrough moments that kind of switched it from you being I'm gonna go out there and just swing it with my buddies to where now you're taking it more seriously? Like what kind of made that change for you?
um, I would say it was just this. It started in April, so we got some really really good weather.
Yeah,
Um, like we had a really like early spring. So, or I say early spring, it was like late March, early April. It's good weather, man. The 70s. We were able to sneak out there and play 18 at Page Belcher or something like that. And then we ended up getting that membership at the up at the lake. And
yeah,
then I was like, okay, if I'm going to be playing all the time, I need to be a little bit better. So because, and we'll probably get into it a little bit more, but I'd say the breakthrough moment is the fact that I'm not playing the way that I want to
sure,
consistently. Um, I think that that's what it is I want to go out there, and the inner competitor in me, of course I'm going to have fun. I'll always have fun,
yeah,
but I also want to play well. I just want to play well.
sure.
So that's my big thing.
Have you seen any now that you're playing a lot, have you seen like any big jumps at all, like with your score getting lower? Like are you maybe you were around 90, 95, and now you're hitting 85, 90? Have you seen any leaps from just from playing?
You know what? I'm not really.
Okay.
I would say some of it. So it's actually, if anything, I've almost kind of gone backwards,
Oh really? Okay.
in some ways. Yeah, I think the reason it happened. So when I go out there, I just rely on feel. Everything's
Sure.
all feel. Obviously, the fundamentals aren't there. I'm not a big watch the YouTube videos and try to fix your swing, because
Good.
I feel like as a baseball player, I know that if you start thinking about mechanics too often and
Yeah.
you're watching all these videos, it does you more bad than good.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, let me just get a feel thing. And then I really decided that it was earlier, it's probably back in May. I was like, you know what, this winter I'm going to do lessons. For
Yeah.
now, I'm just going to play golf and have fun. But so what I really have gotten better at though is chipping.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a little chipping green at one of the public muni courses. They have a really nice area.
Sure.
Um, so I would go out there instead of like on a Wednesday morning, I'd go chip when the sprinklers are just turned off. It's wet outside, no one's out there, or just work on it and get a better feel. So I've been a lot better around the greens in that
Good.
aspect.
Good, good, good. Yeah, that the YouTube stuff, you got to be a little bit cautious, because it'll send you down a rabbit hole, and not everything that's there is good information. And I'm not, a golf coach by any means. I'm just a average golfer who, really am just trying to be better than my buddies. That's what I go through. But I do
Hmm.
watch some of the YouTube videos. But I mean, I think one of the things that YouTube is good at is, it comes to chipping, like you're talking about the chipping. I think there's some good chipping videos that are out there that give you some sound fundamentals and mechanics that are pretty useful. But I
Hmm.
think really with YouTube is the mental approach. So there's a lot of great videos on the mental approach, especially when you're trying to break 90 or you're trying to break 80. And, and you got these kind of almost like benchmarks of what you're trying to do. A lot of times it's people like just trying to break 100 consistently. And then the next one is trying to break 90. And then the next one is trying to break 85. And then,
Yeah.
and so on and so on getting down. And, and then when you hit the 70s, kind of like myself, it's like, man, that's where you want to be, right? You're playing
Hmm.
a solid round, you're moving around. There's not many bogeys that are happening, a lot of pars. You're mixing a birdie or two in there, kind of thing, but a lot of pars throughout the round. And so,
Yeah.
so it's like, I think that's what YouTube is really great at, is that mental approach game on like, how can I get myself to the next level versus like teaching techniques of how to hit the driver. I think
Yeah.
I think some of those fundamentals, like you said, you're getting ready to start up with with the swing coach. I think a lot of those fundamentals are going to come with from the swing coach. That's going to give you that baseline to use and
Hmm.
to help you out, and you'll be able to rely on those in the future. And I think that's a good thing. I think everybody should, if they can afford it, should go out there and get a swing coach, especially if you're committed to playing golf.
Well, and you make such a good point, and that's kind of where I think I was maybe part of it is okay. So I play with pretty much 4 or 5 people very, very regularly.
Yeah,
Being Lauren, uh, her dad and brother, both lenses, and then Braden. We
yeah,
play a lot, and
hmm,
Braden and I were playing very similar golf in April. And
yeah,
he's played in the past, right?
sure,
He won tournaments or a tournament when he was in his teenage years. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
he has it there. But we would have pretty good matches against each other. He'd win one, I'd win one, and then all of a sudden, the dude starts shooting in the high 70s because he's just figured it out. You know what I mean? Like it's starting
yeah,
to come back, and I'm like, you know what? That it from a competitive aspect, it pisses me off
sure,
because
yeah,
I'm like, dude, I want to play that good. I
yeah,
just don't
yeah,
have. But when I shank the ball or I'm hooking the ball. I don't have anything in my mind to go back on, right? I
yeah,
don't have any fundamental base to say, all right, I did this, so let me fix this, right? Let me just focus on that. So part of like I was supposed to have my first lesson last week, but we had to rearrange. It's supposed to be today. It rained, so I'll have it on Tuesday evening. But I'm really excited because I'm just excited to build that fundamental base that you're talking about.
yeah,
Something that you can fall back on, and that way, for me, I feel like the biggest thing I have in my game that's not allowing me to shoot in the low 80s consistently, or even the mid 80s consistently, is just inconsistency.
sure,
Um,
hmm,
and I've shot. I think my lowest score I've ever shot was like an 82.
yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong; it was an easier course, but I'll shoot anywhere in the upwards of. I shot like a 109 in Colorado
yeah,
in at Keystone. So
hmm,
I'm like, why do I have such a big gap there?
yeah, yeah.
It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, sometimes, and something to kind of think about is, those things might be the mental approach and not necessarily your physical tools of what you have. Because I've seen you play, you can drive the crap out of the ball. I think getting some of the basics with the swing basics are going to help out quite a bit. But I think maybe you should start looking a little bit more at some of that mental approach. And like when you're talking
Hmm.
about being a little bit more consistent, I think one of the big things that I tell a lot of my buddies and stuff that I talk to is when they're trying to get to that, like consistently be around 90, um
Hmm.
is, remember, 90, hitting a 90 is basically bogey golf the entire way.
Hmm.
So and the way you get lower, of course, is maybe you mix in a couple of pars or something that might help you out, and that offsets a double bogey that's along the way. But when you start thinking about the mental approach of standing up there and you're having a par five and you're not thinking eagle and you're thinking a six instead of three, it makes a big difference. Like a lot of pressure kind of comes off. And those were like some of the things that I started really focusing in on, those mental approach types of things. And that's what started making those gains for myself, was getting below 90, um, was, that like, I'm gonna make bogey. Okay, that's what I want to make. I'm gonna get it up there, and I'm gonna lag putt and get it close, and then that way, the next putt is gonna be, a 1 footer or 2 footer, and I focus more in
Mm-hmm.
on my speed of my putt and hitting it close versus trying to actually knock it down. And so,
Right.
and not that I don't want to make it, but I feel more comfortable knowing that my goal really is for me to just put it up nice and tight, and then then knock it down. And that's how I kind of stay away from three putting or blowing one right past or whatever, and blowing
Yeah.
up, having a 1 or 2 hole blow up, which is what causes your score to go up instead of go down.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I'll send you a couple of videos on some of the guys. I probably sent you a few, but I'll send you a couple of videos on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think now more than ever, I would
yeah,
be, yeah, more
it
open
might
to
it
that.
might register a little bit more now versus
Mm-hmm.
previously when you're just really kind of getting going on it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I know, um, you don't have kids or anything yet, so I'm not a grandpa, at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and but you are in a very committed relationship and everything else. So, and you have a lot of work responsibilities, and your girlfriend, she's still in school and everything else. But how are you balancing, your all your home life commitments against being able to play golf? I know that one of the good things is you and Lauren actually go out and swing it at the driving range together and stuff. But how are you
Yeah.
managing that?
So I think you just hit the nail on the head. We do it together.
Sure.
So where you might, if you were doing it by yourself, where some of that quality time might go,
Yeah.
it's at the course. We're together.
Yeah.
We're chipping together. We're competing against each other, so we're having fun. But when it comes to everything else, I think I want to make time for it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if that means I go to bed a little later because I'm heading out there later, because that's just what I got to do, it's fine because it's
Yeah.
fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now, if it was something that I didn't enjoy and I really didn't, then I probably wouldn't be getting any lessons. I probably
Sure.
wouldn't be looking to find a new driver shaft. I'm not
Yeah.
looking for something to, I'm not looking for that in between club in my bag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not like I'm out there every night. I'm out there playing 36 to 54 on the weekends,
Yeah.
um, you know, and then two, hopefully 3 times a week in the evenings throughout the week. And then, that's just while the weather's good. So
Yeah.
I just, whenever I'm out there, I don't think about work. I'm just doing that.
Good.
Whenever I'm at work, obviously I want to play golf. I see golf course, I'm like, man, it'd be fun to play today. But,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, it's all good.
I got
So
to get
I
my
know
work done.
that part's coming up.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
Yep.
For sure. So far, you've had the opportunity. We've played in California together, Arizona, Colorado. You live in Oklahoma. I'm looking forward. I haven't played in Oklahoma, so I'm looking forward to that. But
It'll be fun.
for yourself though, like what's been kind of your favorite course so far that you've played on?
Um, it's been kind of through the years, but I would say one of my favorites was when we played in Palm Springs
Okay.
a few years ago.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
Desert golf. I don't know why. It looks really cool. Like it's a little bit different compared to in Arizona. I don't know what it is.
Sure.
Maybe it's the palm trees, but that was really cool.
Yeah.
I like the layout of that. We played at Johnson Ranch in Arizona back in May.
Yeah.
Uh, that was cool. It was hard, and
Yes.
I a lot of bunkers, but it was really cool because there's not I don't you don't see a lot of courses like that.
Yeah. Beautiful
Um,
course.
yeah, it was gorgeous. And then most recently in Keystone, Colorado. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was probably the worst round of golf I've played all year,
Yeah.
but the views and the everything was incredible. It was really, really nice. So
Okay.
those are definitely the top three that this year outside of where I play every week.
I'm gonna have to get the name of that course from you because next month I'm gonna be in Colorado visiting your sister,
Hmm.
and Sonia and I are gonna be over there for Oktoberfest with some friends, and your sister and her boyfriend they're gonna come up and stay the weekend with us, and we're gonna be in Keystone, and I've been trying to figure out a way to sneak away on maybe Friday morning early and go play golf. So, and I saw a couple of your pictures that you had posted and you had sent me. So, um, it was beautiful. And so I was like, man,
Doesn't do them justice, I
oh,
promise
okay.
too.
All right. I got to get out there then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
crazy
sure.
beautiful. Yeah.
Sure. When you're playing golf, I know you play a lot with, Lauren, her dad, her brother, your guys' other friend, Braden. But do you get out there as a single as well and just kind of swing it on various courses? And are you okay doing that, or do you get a
Yeah,
little nervous doing that?
I've done it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done it before. I don't do it as much anymore. Um, but I've done it, and it's almost this is maybe why maybe I don't play as great as I always do. But everyone always says, "Oh, I always play better when I'm a single." It's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, no way," because you're probably doing all this stuff to play better. You're messing with your lie, you're dressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it really just comes down to just the pace of play.
Sure.
Because as a pitcher, you think about it this way: when you're in a rhythm on the mound,
Yeah.
you're in control, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
You're pumping strikes, you're doing everything you need to do up there. The same thing in golf. Whenever I have a really good rhythm out there,
Yeah.
everything's just flowing. I'm swinging it better. But when you're with a group of people, you got to wait for people to go, and that's for me to figure out.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
working on trying to figure out a better rhythm.
Sure.
Um, but kind of that I enjoy doing the single.
Yeah.
I also don't mind playing with others that I don't know.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm kind of the same way. I like getting out there as a single. Uh, I've got a couple of buddies that we try to get together, every couple of months, and there's four of us, and we go out there and we pick out a nice course and spend a little bit extra
hmm
money, and then we spend money gambling on the course and doing stuff like that,
yeah,
and play little gambling games and stuff, and kind of pony up at the end. But um, I really enjoy playing with those guys, and but playing by yourself is like a different experience, right? Because you're putting yourself
yeah,
out on the line, with people that you don't know in a little bit of a competitive situation. And I know it actually makes me play better, when I'm alone, because like I'm out there and I'm like, I want to beat these people. Like these guys show up, they don't know me, type of thing. I don't know them,
yep,
but I want to show them that I'm a BAMF golfer,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
so I do get that, like getting out there as a single, and and I think it helps you to concentrate a lot more. Like usually I got
hmm
a headphone in or something, or and I'm listening to my music, or I might be listening to a book or something that's nice and relaxing and calming, and I just go out there and I can swing it. I don't have to talk to anybody,
yeah,
and so versus when you're playing with your buddy, sometimes you're laughing and they're like, "Oh, you're not going for it. Why are you laying up?" And I'm like, "Because I'm trying to beat you
yeah,
guys."
yeah, yeah.
So
You're like, I'm gonna take your money. Yeah,
yeah, I'm here to take your money. Exactly, exactly. Not
yeah,
to hit hero shots. So, um, what are your personal golf aspirations? Like, is there anything? I know you played in a match play tournament there at your country club not too long ago, and did actually pretty well for your first tournament, especially not growing up as a tournament golfer and playing in a tournament side type of situation. But what are kind of your future aspirations? Do you have any short term goals that you're trying to achieve right now?
yeah. Well, let's start with that first part, the match play. That
Mm-hmm.
was number one. I lost in the first round.
Yeah.
Um, but it was crazy, and I think that's what really turned on my I need to get better
Sure.
because it just made me so mad that I didn't win, and I was like, and I don't want to go out there with the expectations that I have to win every time,
Yeah.
but just for backstory again, I go down five to start the first five holes, so I'm
Yeah.
down already. I fight my way all the way back to be down one on the after nine.
Yeah.
Um, Tie it up after 11, take the lead on 12, um, even to back up on 13. He takes the lead on 14. I even it back up on 15. Um, and then we're just tied going into 17. We both hit short iron shots on a par and three, and I thinned mine across the green,
Oh.
and I had an impossible shot, and
Yeah.
then I hit mine, and so then I'm down one going into 18,
Yeah.
and I hit mine like literally a foot out of bounds.
Mm.
It was I could hit it a foot out of bounds, and it basically that was a wrap.
You had to
So
take a
I
drop.
gave it to him. Yeah,
You
yeah.
conceded
I
the
gave
hole
it
there.
away.
Oh yeah.
It sucks. That's what pissed me off is I was like, why can't I just be consistent? Just be like, just get somewhere around the hole. Don't try to do too much. And it wasn't like I was nervous or anything. I was just, that's where that inconsistency is it was a tough lie, and I probably should have focused on it a little bit more. But that was part of it. Is my personal goals and aspirations. I want to compete a little bit better and stuff like that. If I lose because the guy's better than me,
Yeah.
that's fine. I truly felt like I could have won that. You can't go down 5 holes to start,
Yeah.
because I think if I'd have been down 1 through 5 or even through 5, I definitely feel like I could have got it done.
Sure.
But number one is like right now, 18 birdies has me at like a 16.7 handicap.
Sure.
So I want to get that down to 10 or under by the
Okay.
end of next year.
Okay.
Which I think is very doable.
Yeah.
In my mind, I would definitely want to try to make it past the first round in a match play tournament.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a stroke play one coming up at the end of this month as well, so we'll probably play that one too.
Okay. All right.
But really, it's just I just want to play personal goals right now. I'm not looking too far in the future, other than the by the end of next year for that handicap. But I just want to be more consistent. That's kind of where I'm at. I want to get rid of the blow up holes. I want to get rid of the eights.
Yeah.
I want to limit as many double bogeys as possible, and just play consistent golf.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I think that's the goal for all golfers, though, is really to play that consistent golf. I know that's one of my goals. Is we even as a fairly decent golfer, I'm a low 7. I'm a 7.1, 7.2 handicap right now, and I want to get to maybe a 5. I used to say like I wanted to get to a 9. And then when I was like started getting, I was hanging around like as a 10, I said, I want to get to a 7. And now that I'm a 7, I'm like, oh, I want to get to a 5. Right. So that's kind of my goals, that I'm working towards with the golf. But, being consistent, like there's certain things that really I want to focus in on. Like I have my home course, and like consistently breaking 80 all the time at the home course is like a big one for me. I should be able to roll out of bed and hit 78 at the home course. Right. And I'm having a bad round if I'm hitting like 80, 81. But I did have a blow up, round over here at the home course, and I was in the upper 80s, low 90s or something. I just I was hitting the driver really well, hitting the long irons really well, but for whatever reason, 100 yards and under, which is usually my money clubs, like I could not get it going for 100 yards and under. And I know these greens like the back of my hand, and I could not roll it that day. And so every putt that I needed, I missed. And it just seemed like the scores kept piling up and piling up. And so it's just kind of, you have those days, right? I mean, that's golf, right?
Yeah.
That's what you got to keep in mind and remember. It's like sometimes you just have those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so what about kind of one of the big things right now, which I think is really cool, is the fashion of golf and kind of maybe that golf drip. Do you have any sort of golf drip? Like, are you into shoes? Are you into the polo shirts? Do you have like a name brand that you're like, man, every time I see them, that's who I'm looking for, either at the store or in the internet or on the internet. So what about your golf drip? Are you into anything right now?
Yeah, I like the polos from Sunday Swagger. I know everybody this is like a simple golf polo.
Yeah.
People like to wear stuff like this, but I think where golf's moving in terms of like all the influencers, like good, people like that who really aren't that traditional. I like the floral shirts. I like the loud shirts. You know what I mean? I'm not out there playing at the PGA, where everything's it has to be very formal. And there's nothing wrong with it. I just enjoy that.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite shirt to wear, just because they're really cool.
Yeah.
Got the Lulu shorts on, comfortable.
Yeah.
You got me some Air Max golf shoes, but unfortunately I have a very wide toe box.
Oh yeah, so they're a little tight.
And they squeeze my feet and it gets uncomfortable. So I found that FootJoys. I can't remember the model of the shoe, but the FootJoys are very comfortable, which is what I wear right now. So anything that just has a wide toe box. Yeah.
If you're not wearing them, man, I'll pick them up from you when I come on out there.
I still wear them sometimes.
Okay. All right.
It's hard to it just depends.
Yeah, for sure. Nike makes such great looking shoes, but it's always hard to determine, like what shoe to wear. And usually, like especially when it comes to Nike, like I try to go to like what I always wear, like and so there's a certain Air Max that I always try to wear. Jordans are always comfortable, but
Hmm.
man, like I went away from FootJoy for a while, but I went back to FootJoy, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I look at the Nike Golf stuff, and I'm like, I think I'm going FootJoy. I think I'm sticking with it, especially on the
Yeah.
the soft spikes. I just they're just so comfortable. And I played in Pebble earlier this year, and I wore them like almost every day. I wore Nikes one day, and I wore the FootJoys the next 2 days. And man, I was like, it was a complete difference, from wearing
Yeah.
Nikes to FootJoys.
And I would love to, you're right. I would love to wear the Nikes more often because they look sick.
Yeah,
Um, but it's just, the comfortability thing. So
sure. Um, Kind of closing up here just a little bit, but what's your bucket list course? Like where are you looking like you really want to play coming up in the future?
man, it's Southern Hills here in
Okay.
Tulsa.
Okay.
They play the PGA Championship here.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know the right people to go play it because they're members there. They can, I've talked to people who, don't have memberships. They're like, "Yo, yeah, my brother-in-law or my sister-in-law, they're members there. I got to play. I played there about 4 or 5 times." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Where's the people that I need to know so I can go play that?"
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's sick, to play at a PGA standard course.
Sure.
That's just right. It's 20 minutes away from my house right now.
Oh wow.
So,
Maybe you can look into it. Sometimes, especially since you're a member of a club, sometimes these club have sister courses, or that you can play on. And maybe there's an opportunity, just as being a country club member, that might they might have a day or something that you guys can actually go out there and play. I would look into that.
yeah, I'll
So
definitely
yeah.
see what options I have. That'd be sick. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, it's been fun, man. I mean, I've had a good time, talking to you about this stuff.
Me too, man. This is cool. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to
Yeah.
see where this can go, and it's a lot of fun to talk about golf always.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm obsessed with this freaking game, and I can never
Hmm.
get enough. And kind of like what you were saying earlier, sometimes when I'm at work, I'm like, man, I wish I was out on the golf course right now. And,
Hmm.
and I live on the course. So, and there's days and I'm out in the backyard, and I'm just I might be grilling, or I might be, just doing a little cleanup or something back there, and I'm watching people hit, and I'm just not jealous, but just more like, I wish I was kind of out there, playing.
Yeah.
Um, or I go over to the range and I'm practicing, and I see everybody and like they're teeing off, and I was like, oh, I wish I was, getting around in, even though I know I got to
Hmm.
get my work in and get my swings in and focus in on the things that I'm needing to focus in on. And so, but yeah, it's a great game, and I love it. And I I always say, that's one of the good things about it, and especially now that you're playing golf, and but like kind of when we went to Arizona, that's what makes it cool. Is you're playing, I'm playing, your Uncle Kyle's playing, your Uncle Richie's playing, Pop's playing. When we can, it's something that we can all go and still spend that time together. And
Hmm.
even when we're older and you're not swinging it as well, or I'm not swinging it as well, and I can't hit the ball 300 yards anymore, type of thing.
Hmm.
Um, and I got to go from the red tees, but I know I still want to get out there and get after it with you. So that's
Yep.
the part that makes it the best, right? Is that we can all spend that time and do it all together.
Exactly. Agreed, man. It's a lot more than just swinging the club and doing all that stuff. It's all the hanging out together. It's,
Yeah.
bonding, camaraderie, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what all that stuff brings. So right now, for myself, you can find me in multiple locations. The best way is on Instagram over at Fairway Conversations. Also, you can find me at Cali Lobo 45, and then a couple of the other podcasts that I was kind of talking about at the beginning. 90 minutes on films, and then Dogs, Fiction, and Brown. But wrapping it up here, I want to thank my friends over at Soda Jerk for sponsoring this episode. Um, newer sponsor, but really like working with those guys. So hopefully it'll be a good relationship, and we'll keep it moving forward. So, um, other than that, man, I want to say see you later, and I love you.
Love you
Okay.
too, man.
All
I've had
right.
fun.
Yeah,
All
me
right.
too. Me too. It's been a blast.